Today I'm just going to do a real quick video, a little bit of advocacy about why I support the idea of a nicotine top, like a cap, like you can't go above X amount of nicotine. And the reason being is why all these kids, why it is people really like things like Juul is because, give me 1 second here, my neighbors are super fucking loud, is because the buzz that you get off of a 50 milligram is just ridiculous and unnecessary. The most that I use in any of my pods, the only things that really use any salt nick are my Orion Q pods, and the most I use is 25, 35 if I can't find a 25, but otherwise I don't use a 50 milligram. It's completely unnecessary. And if you chain vape it, you're going to get a headache, you're going to get nauseous, you're going to get basically just sick. It's called nicotine poisoning. And the reason why I believe that there should be a nicotine cap is so that way you can't go around and buy these 50 milligram pods that basically, these teenagers are vaping on and they're using their jewels on, and that's what's making them fucking sick. And it's pretty fucking obvious. And if you were to ask me why I think that should be a universal kind of a universal agreement, is because that's the biggest thing that's getting kids addicted. It's not flavors. Okay, we know that it's not the flavors, because if you've ever tried a Juul pod, there is no flavor. There's like barely any flavor at all. You could basically lick your hand and get a better flavor than get flavor off of the Juul pod. Kids, I don't even have a Juul to really compare anything with it. Maybe the closest thing would be like Caliburn, which even then, yeah, I haven't used this thing in a long time, and quite frankly, it's whatever device. But the point being is that this is stealthy. It's small. It kind of fit up like your hand, or like up in your pocket. It's stealthy. That's why kids like that shit. It's stealthy and get a high ass nick buzz off of it. Okay, no kid is gonna be walking around school using something like this. This is bright, big print, pink and blue colors, purple on it. Big ass tank. They're gonna be puffing out big ass fucking clouds. You can't do that shit in class. You know, it comes down to kids wanting a giant nick buzz and trying to make a decision that's for adults, that you can't take away the fact that adults have, it's their choice. They want to take away the choice of adults, and you can't do that because quite blah, as far as I'm concerned, that's unethical and that's quite unconstitutional. We have our choice, just like we have our choices to drink. If you want to go out and smoke weed and smoke cigarettes, whatever it is, if you're an adult, if you can vote, if you can go die for this country, there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to vape any sort of flavor you want. This whole idea of them wanting to ban flavors, it goes so much deeper than flavors, and it's not even about the flavors. It's about the fact that they're not making money off of selling cigarettes. That's just the deepest, hardest fact of it is. Even in Minnesota right now, their biggest concern is the fact is that they're not making money off of cigarettes because people are what's called cigarette smuggling. Okay, you can go across the state border, go to like South Dakota, you can go to Iowa, you can go to Wisconsin, where cigarettes cost almost half the price of what cigarettes cost in Minnesota. We have an extremely high nicotine tax. It's like 95.5%, which is a shit ton percent of nicotine tax. It's one of like the three highest in the state. And to be quite frankly honest, it doesn't surprise me because Minnesota doesn't have I the actual tax system of Minnesota. I couldn't exactly sit there and tell you everything about it because I'm not a politician. I don't, poke my head into that shit. But Minnesota loses tax revenue. And if they're not making it off of cigarettes, it has to come from somewhere. And because their cigarettes cost so much to get, like a pack of Marbs, like a pack of Marb Reds, it's like $9.35, so something like that, if my memory stands correct. And well, that's a lot of fucking money for most people to spend, $10 a day, you know, to, smoke a cigarette, 10 packs a day. I don't go through 10 packs worth, $10 worth of juice a day, considering the fact that I have fucking multiple setups, multiple juices and cotton that I go through, and all the different coils and pods and everything that I use. I don't go through $10 worth of that a day. And, to really break it down, all you have to do is look at, how much do cigarettes cost in your state, how many smokers, how many vapors. Well, if you have, as we've seen as the trend goes, smoking has come down, vaping has gone up. They're losing that cigarette tax money, and so they're going to attack vaping because it's just all about the money. They're not getting the money off of vaping products as they do with cigarette because cigarette products because unless there's like a nicotine tax that's based off of like vapor tax. If it would be like a vapor nicotine tax, then they can get money off of it. But they don't collect money off of it like that. That's not their whole process per se of doing things. And that I believe is one of the biggest reasons why it is that they're actually quite scared. It's because, well, we're not making money off of this. So instead of being like, hey, we can find a way of, maybe taxing it and getting some money off of it instead of hurting this industry, we're just going to kill it and hope that people will start smoking again. But the only issue is that if you're going to try and drive people, which the whole issue, the whole public issue that they brought up for why it is that they want people to quit smoking is simply, why it is that they're raising cigarettes, the cost of cigarettes is to try and get people to quit smoking. Well, they keep trying to raise prices to try and get people to quit smoking, yet they're really concerned that they're not getting money off of cigarette taxes, which doesn't make any fucking sense. If you wanted people to quit smoking, do it because you give a shit about people's health, you know, instead of, because I'm sure that came off a little unclear. So they're not happy that they're not getting the money that they want off of cigarettes because people are doing cigarette smuggling, going to South Dakota, Iowa, Wisconsin, North Dakota, all these, pretty much any place that has like, Indian reservations. We have them here in Minnesota. You can go, you can buy, a carton of cigarettes for like $50, whereas if you were to buy it at like a convenience store, it's, damn near $100. And they don't like that fact because they can't get money off, the cigarettes bought on like reservations. So they're upset that they're not getting cigarette money, but yet, they keep raising money on packs of cigarettes because they want people to quit. And it's kind of like, what the fuck are you even talking about? I thought you wanted people to quit. You're upset you're not getting money off the cigarettes. So that's just my take on the whole, little process that's going on. I think that they don't know what they fucking want. They want money and they just want to get it any which way that they possibly can. Which I think that's just what it truly ultimately comes down to. Every aspect it's about the money. They say that, well, it's for the kids and we want to, get kids to stop kids from vaping, but yet, you know, they really are just pushing all this shit to basically just try and get people hooked back onto cigarettes. It's I'm not making probably the best point of it. It's because I suck at doing this kind of shit. But they their biggest concern, their biggest shields are kids because they got nothing else. They can't admit to the fact that they're losing this battle against, you know, the fact that people want to quit smoking and they're using vaping and they're losing this battle. And so they're panicking and they're doing everything they can to try and get back up that income that they're missing out on, but they're just coming across it completely the wrong way. And that's why this is my ideal or idea for, a solution that can be proposed to this whole flavor ban. Instead of banning flavors, cap off the nicotine. You don't need anything more than 25 milligram nic salt if you're going to use nic salt. And to be quite frank, you don't need anything more than a 6, on freebase. I mean, even then, a 6 is that's more than enough nicotine. It's a pretty high buzz, pretty hell of a throat hit. Anything above and beyond that, you're good to go. Oh shit, that would explain it. And it just kind of really pisses me the fuck off because it's like, I like having a pod with me. If I go somewhere, if I'm like just going into, just out and about in town, I'll bring a mod with. I don't have a problem. If I'm sitting around, if I just want to go to the bathroom and voop for a little bit, take a pod with me. And as an adult, I get to have that choice. You know, kids are going to break the law. Kids are going to be stupid and they're going to do things they're not supposed to do. That's called being a fucking kid. What the hell do you expect them to do? Obey the law? No kid's going to obey the law unless, they use their brain, which their brain isn't made for, but the hell are you going to do about it? So this is my message to any politician, to any person in power that thinks that banning flavored vapes or banning flavored vaping products is going to solve any issue. It's not going to solve anything. You're just ruining the lives of millions of adults that use vapor products to help them quit smoking. Because kids are still going to find a way of, buying the products. If you watch the studies, if you watch people that are in this industry, we've discovered that people that are able to buy things like, these jewel pods, these 50 milligram, high ass nic salt stuff, they're buying it at convenience stores where they don't ID people. They don't go into vape shops and say, yeah, can I, they'll ask, they'll try and buy it, but when they get carded, they're like, oh, I don't have it, or they're not of age. Vape shops always pass that shit. Convenience stores don't pass it because they don't fucking ID people. And I work at a convenience store. Unless I know you and I've carded you previously, you will get carded. That is all there is to it. Excuse me. And if you don't like that, tough. Go somewhere else. But I'm not going to support you breaking the law. I wasn't that kind of a kid. I didn't go out and smoke as a kid. I wasn't into drinking as a kid. I got into that stuff after I was well of legal age and understood the decision that I was stepping into. But I know kids don't give a shit, and that's why I believe that we, as legal adults, have to be like, nah, no, we're not going to let you go down this path. Because guess what? Smoking costs a lot of fucking money. So does vaping. I can't sit here and say, well, I haven't really spent that much money on vaping. I've spent a couple $1,000s on vaping. Like, it's the numbers are up there. But to sit there and say, well, I guess it's not that bad. You could be getting into smoking, I don't support that argument because you shouldn't be doing anything that involves, chemicals entering your brain until you're at least 18. That's why I think, believe it or not, I think they should have where you need to be carded if you wanted to get like energy drinks. Kids will drink gallons of fucking energy drinks, and then they're shaking all the fucking time. They have fucking heart convulsions, and they have, fucking cardiac arrest, and they're 17 because they drink 7 monsters a day. And yet, oh, well, it's because he was vaping. It's like, no, it's because he drank 2 gallons of monster a day for like 6 weeks straight. Ain't no kid in any school is ever going to be caught blowing a cloud that big. So that's just my take on things. Agree, disagree. It's not really the point. This is my opinion. This is how I feel. And, I believe that, as long as we're all together in this, that's all that matters. Let's keep on vaping and keep on vaping safely. Till then, catch you next time.